Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boy clothes, 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug you. Long boys clothes, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975. You have to excuse me. I'm sat between two fans, but you know, while it's not particularly hot right now, which I'm enjoying so much, despite the fact that you know the storms, the thunderstorms, the heavy rain, the winds, basically knock out my ability to receive a TV signal, basically knock out my ability to use the internet. So it's a double-edged sword. I'm loving the fact that I'm not having to use these two bad boys, and it's, you know, cool enough for me to sleep during the daytime. I just got back from work, hence the fact I look tired and my face has gone red and squiggly. But at the same time, it kind of highlights my reliance on technology for killing my time, or enjoying my spare time, I should say, as opposed to killing my time. Anyway, there's a question up there that I've been asked. I got PM this, and they honestly asked my thoughts on it because they seem to be, oh, it's a loaded gun. How do I answer this? Anyway, we'll start at the beginning, right? The question is, do those who don't make content on YouTube have the right to criticize the content of those who do? Now, it's really not that straightforward a question, because there are many sort of factors within it, in groups of individuals, I guess, who don't make content. The obvious answer to this is yes, but it's all in the execution of how you criticize, you know, someone's content, because criticism is good if delivered in a positive and constructive manner. I've long argued that while it's not completely obsolete, the thumbs down, I mean, if you get enough thumbs down, then you get a general feeling that something you've done is very disliked. I think simply talking about this topic means I'm going to get a load of them, which comes to the other side, which is providing someone with a tool where they can simply hit something without providing a genuine reason, kind of to some degree cheapens its relevance or its productive nature. But I mean, there are many sort of factions of the individuals who don't produce content. And can I just say, I have a load of, you know, people, loyal subs who've been watching me since day one who don't, you know, produce content. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not for everyone to do. You know, some people just use YouTube as a medium to enjoy, you know, all the stuff out there. Doesn't mean they have to make content, nor do they want to. But it doesn't mean they don't appreciate those who do. Then you will obviously get the people who hide behind their, you know, their keyboards and stuff like that, and they will simply criticize and slag off, not even necessarily because they disliked the content, but simply because if you give someone, you know, the ability to be anonymous, then people sometimes just use it to, you know, to troll in nature. And that's not just YouTube, that's any form of social media. But then you get the people who don't produce content but want to, but they're scared or nervous, and they talk to those of us who do. Do you see what I mean? It's already spiraling out of, you know, such a simple question. To me, it's quite simple. You've got to look at it from both sides of the screen, I guess, which is, if you don't produce content, you're fully entitled to an opinion. But if you're criticizing someone generally because you want to help them, or, you know, give them some advice, then you've got to understand that you have to word yourself carefully, not for fear of offending and stuff like that, but because you're anonymous at that point, or whatever, because you don't have content yourself, then it's a voice from the unknown. It's criticism. No one likes criticism. That's what I mean when it comes back to doing it in a careful way. The best way I would say to do it is, if you generally want to, you know, offer someone some constructive criticism on their channel, is look at it from their perspective, which is, you know, automatically, whether, you know, you mean it for the best, they will take a back foot and think, at least to me, you know, initially at the start, just go, well, you don't have content, what gives you the right to criticize me? But it's not, you know, that straightforward for me to say that, because obviously you're entitled to your opinion, and it could be a very well-meaning opinion, and therefore I should be prepared to listen to it. But I would say to those who want to sort of offer constructive criticism to those who make content and they don't, which is, sometimes it's worth remembering, which is, you can look at something and say, you know, why didn't you do it like this? Or I would have done it like that. Or, you know, you should have done it with this manner or this equipment, and that was a mistake you did there, and this and that and this. And they could be very well, you know, mannered and meaning observations and criticisms that you're giving to the individual. But if you've never done it, you know, you can have all these ideas in your head, and this is anything in life. You plan something. I'm going to buy a car and strip it and rebuild it, or I'm going to do this amazing trip around the world, and you plan it in your head and you think you've got it all covered and, you know, all the angles and boxes ticked. But until you physically sit down to do it and start to go through the process of doing stuff in this nature, making content, then it's, sorry, camera's gone blurry because I'm waving my hands around. It's easier to say what you would do than actually deliver it, because all manner of things pop up when you sit down to the practical nature of doing things, if that makes sense. So I would say, right, if it's well-meaning and it is genuine and it's not just some pointless thing like that looks shit, or, you know, your sound's bollocks, or pointing out the obvious, because lots of us with crap equipment like myself are very aware of our limitations, but happy to work within them. But if it's well-meaning, then sit down and say what you want to say, and you do definitely have the right to criticize someone when you have no content of your own. But it's all about, as I said, the execution of it. You know, as I said, trolls aside, that doesn't count. Pointless stating the obvious, you know, criticisms or statements, I should say, that doesn't count. But generally, well-meaning criticism that you know you're trying to help the individual and be productive, that's more than welcome from any channel that doesn't produce content. But as I said, put your feet in the shoes of the individual who produces it and see how what you say may come across the wrong way, because people to some degree are always defensive. I really hope I answered your question, mate. It's kind of a really, really difficult one to pin down. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, yeah, so that was my Wednesday vlog. I'd be really, really interested to know from those of you who don't produce content but are well-meaning in your criticisms you give to others, what you think of this topic, and especially those of you who do produce content and have been on the end of well-meaning criticism, or even, you know, the negative side of it. I'd love to know what you think. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.